All right, welcome to the show tonight. We have a matchup here between Team Caliber and American Specialist. This is Div A NGS Week 3. Joining me tonight is Lucky. How you doing, man?
Hey, Mert, I'm pretty good.
All right, checking if the teams are ready, and we're going to get right underway. This first map tonight is going to be Tomb of the Spider Queen, so one of those really fun maps. Looks like our team's ready to go, so let's launch it.
Tomb of the Spider Queen.
All right, so Lucky, going into Tomb of the Spider Queen, what are some of the things you like to see? I know this is one of those rotation-heavy maps, a lot of control on the points you need to have, and of course, in that top lane, there is the boss. So what are your thoughts here?
Yeah, as you touched, definitely heavy on rotations. The standard is usually the top mid rotation with four teammates. And you usually have the solo lane and the bottom lane. So wave clear is good. As you said, control too is good, as well as poking. If you want to get your enemy team off turn-ins as well. So those points are pretty big and major on this map, and kind of sometimes give the outcome of the match if you can kind of control those couple points.
Yeah, absolutely. And following the theme we saw this weekend in HGC, right off the bat, we see the Shimada brothers being targeted. First, we have Genji. I would not be surprised to see the Hanzo band follow here as well. What are your thoughts on this current meta that's evolving we see with these Shimada brothers in it right now, Lucky?
I think people are definitely, the standard is to ban out those two Shimada bros. People do not want to deal with the Shimada clan. They're very strong. They both play in different play styles. You have one Hanzo who's kind of like the poker, and then you have Genji who is the guy who goes in and finishes kills and has high
And
mobility.
yeah, in a surprise to me, Hanzo not going to be banned. Instead, we see Lucio, the skating brother, all over the place with his speed, going to be banned out here in map number 1. So I think this kind of leaves it open. There's the Greymane available right now. There's the Hanzo available right now. Do they target one of those high priority picks? I'd love to see either the Greymane or the Hanzo here.
I agree with you, Murda. I don't think Hanzo is getting. I'll say this. I don't think Hanzo's getting through this first pick phase for both teams. He'll either be picked up here right now, or think he'll be picked up in the 1-2 slot for American Specialist. But obviously Team Caliber's delegating. You know, what do they want to pick up first? Do they want to commit to the Hanzo? Maybe do they want the Greymane, who's also very high priority? The clock is ticking down, so we'll see. And they go with the Greymane.
Okay, so yeah, Greymane, another solid pick. Definitely one of the most well-rounded heroes in the game. He's got the range poke with the cocktail build. He's also got that burst if he wants to jump in with the dark flight, go into a cursed bullet, or go for the throat. And there we see, this is what I was told about from a secret source, that Sergeant Hammer is the pick for American Specialist. So Specialist in their name, and right off the bat, a huge prioritization for this team on the Sergeant Hammer. Lucky, what do you think about this?
Yeah, they're definitely repping the specialist name. So I will say American Specialist has pretty big poke from their backline. I'll say that. So if I'm Team Caliber, what do you do? Do you go heavy dive? Do you go, protection? Do you go just a beefy front line who can kind of withstand the poke? Or maybe you go with some sustained healing. Maybe you go with like the Lucio, or you go with the Stukov. Oh, they go with the Sonya Chromie right off the bat. Thoughts on that?
So yeah, I guess Chromie just obviously for the range to be able to get some damage onto Hammer, who's stationary in siege mode. So I like the Chromie pick, and maybe the Sonya signaling they want to go leap to be able to get on top of her. It's a scary comp on the side of Team Caliber. I mean, those are some really good heroes. I think Chromie, just with their slowing sands in this map, is a problem, and now it forces them to pick up a healer that has a cleanse, which there's not too many. I know you can go into that Rhaegar, you can go like the Uther, I guess, has a cleanse, but I don't know. We'll see. There's a few options they have left, and I'd expect one of those healers to be banned out here, whichever one they don't want to deal with. Team Caliber to ban one away, but we'll see. This Hammer has to find a form of protection, and I mean, you basically take away Stukov. Like, you just can't run a Stukov now. And
It's interesting to note too, as you said, like the big cleanse healers, Rhaegar Uther. Those two supports are really big on dive comps, so they're not really geared towards kind of poking. I would say the Uther and Rhaegar, they both kind of like they have those big ultis where they really empower. Let's say like a Greymane or a Genji, where they say, okay, here's your ancestral, here's your D shield. So now, like you were touching upon, American Specialist has to figure out what kind of support they want to do. ETC does get banned out by American Specialist, and now we're going to wait for Team Caliber to take their second ban. And this draft is very interesting, and the meta is everywhere, and it is very diverse. I think, in my opinion, you have the top assassins for the meta, I think, but I've seen some big diversity in just amateur games and then HGC too.
yeah, I mean, it's a huge curveball. Just seeing Sergeant Hammer come out in the second draft pick there, it makes Team Caliber have to really think, how are they going to navigate this draft? I like what they've done so far with it, but there's a few pieces they need still. They need that healer. They still need that main tank. So they've pretty much shown all of their damage they're going to have. It's going to be that Sonya Chromie Greymane. So it's all up to what they can do out of these tank picks. And for what's left, I really like that ETC ban, because the stage dive is another one of those things paired with the leap that could have gotten on top of that hammer effectively. I think you're kind of limited now to probably a Muradin, I think would be the pick for Team Caliber. But we'll see here on the right hand side what American Specialists want to do with their 3-4 picks.
Yeah, like you said, I'm really interested too. Like I think Leap definitely has some. Okay, they go with the Malfurion and the Nubrax, so they're going for good CC. So if the Sonya does decide to go Leap, you're gonna have a big Twilight Dream, you're gonna have a Root, you're gonna have double stuns, you're gonna have. I'm assuming Cocoon is gonna be there too as level 10 a Nubrax choice. So this draft is turning out to be very interesting. I like what American Specialist did. They said, if they are gonna go heavy dive later into this draft, we're gonna get some counter dive. Malfurion Twilight Dream is huge counter dive, and it's a big counter to Greymane finish and then Sonya too.
Okay, so they pick up Stukov. Absolutely love him on this map. Your team's going to be grouped up. You got the four always running together. Bot lane's going to be Sonya, so you're going to have Diablo, Stukov, Chromie, Greymane all together, getting mad healing from Stukov. Great pick. Also, expanding arm at 1 on Stukov to clear out any sort of spider push is just outstanding. And also, when you're engaging onto the enemy forts, you throw that so they can't come out. It's just such a great, versatile talent that Stukov's been able to put out there. And he has one of the best area heals in the game. The burst healing that he can provide to his entire team at the same time, it's outstanding. They do lack a cleanse, so a Nubrak could be a problem if the stuns come out, especially with the damage that's going to drop from Hammer. You want to get out of there quick. They're not going to have the cleanse. But look at this. It is a double specialist comp. Sylvanas dropping in the 5 spot for American Specialists, living up to that name.
Living up to the name completely, and this is they have a clear idea what they want to do. I'm assuming American Specialist is going to be heavy prioritization on getting damage on structures. They want to get those walls down. They want to get the cannons down. The first tier cannons, and then get some web weaver pushes, because a web weaver push with Sylvanas, Hammer, and Hanzo is going to be oppressive. So let's see if Team Caliber can kind of control the turn-ins, kind of try and see if they can make sure that their wave clear is okay too, and they're not getting CC'd and killed, because there's a lot of range on American Specialists, and it's kind of Team Caliber has to do this dance. We're like, let's try and control this, but let's not get poked out too. So this is gonna be an interesting match. I'm pretty excited for this, Mert. I hope you are too.
All right, so on the left-hand side tonight, we have Team Caliber. We're going to start off with John on that Chromie. I see a Sonya going to be played by Jazz Enigma. The healer going to pick up Stukov. On the tank tonight, it's Scooby playing Diablo, and rounding it out on the gray main, it is Say You Back.
On the right-hand side, we have American Specialists. We have Chrissy I37 wiggling around on the Anubrak. We have Flaka Vaca on the Sylvanas. Any problem is on the Hanzo with the Snowflake. iTunes is playing the Malfurion, and Hammer down the bottom lane, played by Paletta.
Paleta. Very nice
Paleta.
name. All right, so we're going to start off here in the mid lane. Hanzo throwing out that Vision Arrow, going to look to start off his quest. Did he go for it? No, he moved into Redemption, so that's the basic attack build. I kind of like seeing that here, especially like we mentioned, with that Hammer later on. If they can get the armor reduction, it's going to be very fat. So really like seeing that. It looks like the wave clear advantage is going to be in favor of Team Caliber. You see them with the Stukov lurking arm able to clear out those effectively. Already rotating to the top is Scooby. And it's just going to be these rotations for a bit. I'd imagine Diablo is going to look for some engages, and if they get it, they get it. And here it looks like Anubrak's in trouble. Going to get stunned into a wall. A little bit of damage coming out from
that is a
Greymane.
very nice lurking arm. And body blocks. Oh, Lord.
Outstanding.
Very good job.
Outstanding job by Enigma there. That lurking armor is right on point.
Communication was very key there. You could see the body blocks. They had choked the body blocks between two different points. So, yeah, Anubrak just couldn't get out there. Enigma had the follow-up lurking arm in the perfect position where you're not moving, you're silenced, you can't do anything.
Yeah, so checking out this bot lane, it looks like Hammer kind of knows what's up, able to keep Sonya pushed back a little bit, so that's going to play to their favor if she can keep that up, but could be a little rotation coming down, but scouted by her mines in that vent, so great job there by Sergeant Hammer. Yeah,
it looks like Sonya is getting a little poked out here. Paletta is just in siege form and doing so much damage. Interestingly enough, I think Sonya was assuming she was going to go up against someone else in the solo lane, because I personally would have went block against Hammer, but you know, I mean, I also 90% of the time I'm going War Paint, but against the heavy DPS like that, I'd probably go block.
All right, so we're gonna see some heavy rainfall dropping from Chromie, trying to poke this out, and I think the poke, at least this point in the game before Hanzo kind of beefs up, is going to be in the favor of Team Caliber. Chromie, of course, you know, stacks up her talents 2 levels early, so she's already picked up her level 4 talent, and it is the always picked bronze talent, so great job. And another great job right there, it's Scooby with the stun into the wall and the flip, going to secure a kill onto that Hanzo, so his redemption stacks are going to be reset.
Yeah, really nice job by Scooby. Scooby was just was peeking at just watching the rotation. He sees, you know, the Hanzo, and Hanzo is kind of just a little low to be floating around against any little, you know, choke points against the Diablo, because, you know, these Div A teams are looking for picks when they can, and I did a really good job, really quick reaction, and they got a quick pick there.
Let's take a look at the gem count right now. We see 19 already turned in, 26 still on hand, so they are only about 5 away from having enough for the first turn in is Team Caliber. And on the right hand side we have 8 turned in with 25 on hand, so a little bit further away. I'd expect Team Caliber to keep up this pressure, get that level 7 talent advantage, and move for that turn in. So let's see if they can find another pick off here. And perhaps, right now though, it is Chromie in big trouble. Anubrak with a great engage, a great follow-up stun. Her team was there. They secure the kill onto Chromie.
During that meantime, we had Sonya. So there was a nice rotation. Sonya went to take the Bruiser camp, while Greymane's just kind of covering the XP in bottom lane. And Sonya's back. We see the Greymane back. But Hammer's still just dominating bottom lane, absolutely dominating. I want to see Team Caliber here really focus on getting their turn in, because they have the amount right now. They just have to, and they have lane pressure in mid too. So I want to see them get that first turn in, and try and negate any early cheese from Syl Hammer, because if you can kind of just snowball against this American Specialist team, they're not going to get the value off of, they're not going to get as much value, since they don't have their Hammer and their Sylvanas pushing with the Web Weavers.
Absolutely. Right now, though, it's a 4-on-3 at this bot turn, and Scooby's the one in trouble. Nubrak with a great bro and a follow-up stun. Now the root comes down from Malfurion. That's a secured kill on Diablo. First turning in of the game is going to go to Team Caliber as Stukov Enigma gonna go to the top side, turn those in, pick it up. Blue Web Weaver's dropping down the lanes, and Diablo's gonna be spawning just about in time to catch up, hopefully for his team. Level 7s, both teams online. Let's take a look at these talents, Lucky.
Yeah, we have a standard. I want to say too. One point is Team Caliber did the right sacrifice. They had their support in the top lane turning in, and they were just buying time for him. And even if the Diablo dies, guess what? He's back. He's back just in time for the Web Weavers. Death timers are low. But touching upon talents, we have Grayman Cocktail build, Diablo with Diabolical Momentum. So we're getting that CDR on overpowering Shadow Charge. Sonya pretty standard, going Poison Spear at 7. Stukov, I'm not too familiar with Stukov, not really a Stukov player. And then Chromie as well. You want to touch on the rest?
Yeah, so I think the one that's interesting is we see graduating range is taken by the Sergeant Hammer. I believe that's the same talent where she gets her movement while in siege mode. So that's something to keep in mind. It's going to give her an extra attack range up to 3.3 units compared to the movement where she can move while in siege mode. We'll see how that comes into play, but it's going to be siege up, stay sieged, and get the extra range. So we'll see if Chromie is the one who can exploit that, dropping in the Dragon's Eye that she picked up at her level 5 talent. So we'll see. The center damage is going to do a considerable amount if the armor can't come up onto that Sergeant Hammer's trait that she picks up.
A big charge by Diablo. The flip was there, but Sylvanas uses not her Wailing Arrow, her E talent, her E ability, I can't think of it right now, just to escape. And it looks like, let's see, how much structure did Team Caliber get? They got one cannon on the top lane, they got another cannon in the mid lane, and yeah, that's it. So they didn't get too much from their push. The XP is pretty even, but they're also opening up walls too, so they're making the American Specialists a little less safe.
So the exciting thing we just saw on the map, it was Hanzo picking up a bruiser camp for American Specialists. That's going to push down this mid lane as Diablo trying to engage onto that Sylvanas towards the top side of the mid lane. And now it's just time to start clearing up these. You got Greymane in the Worgen form already, trying to clear up as much as he can. The mage is already killed, and that is a Nubrak being pushed back into the Chromie Hourglass. Not going to be enough follow-up damage after she breaks out of the stasis. She's able to burrow back away and get these rotations started back for American Specialists. And looking again at these gem counts, it's American Specialists with the advantage to get their first spiders of the game, but I think a lot of them are going to be stored in the bottom of the map. It's Peleda on that Sergeant Hammer holding out to 24 of their gems. They're going to need those turned in if they want to get the Web Weavers down.
I definitely agree. You see Team Caliber looks like they're pressing up. They had the 10 advantage, so they kind of want to just zone off and make sure these gems don't get turned in. But now that American Specialists have turned in, they can kind of move in to try and turn and not be down a disadvantageous talent. A Hammer taking a siege, but there might be a skirmish mid. No, okay. They're looking. Chromie's just poking. Diablo's being the front line, kind of pressing out and letting Chromie do Chromie things, just get free abilities in.
So here we go. Just enough gems on hand currently for Team Caliber. They are one short. Flock of Vodka taking a huge burst there from Chromie. Not enough. Enigma holding on to that last gem they need. He's walking up to the top right now. Does a Nubrak sniff it out? Can he get in there with the Q to stun it out? No, it's going to be Web Weavers dropping
turn in
for the second time of the game in favor of Team Caliber. And right now, I like where the lanes are pushed out to mid. They already have walls down at the mid side. The top's already been worked on a little bit with one of the towers down, the other one on a thread. I'd like to see them focus on this top lane, get some pressure in that boss lane so you can set it up for later on. You do not want to let the opposing team take any sort of advantage with those two specialists on hand and a boss. That would be detrimental to any sort of win objective in this game. So perfectly set up now in the top lane. Scooby leading the way on this Diablo.
Yeah, and it looks like they are going to prioritize what is mostly just agreed upon as the most important lane, the top lane. So they get down the wall, and they're just pressing forward. Greymane is putting in his auto attacks. He's got his inner beast up, just smacking away at this fort. And the Web Weaver's still fairly healthy. So it looks like Team Caliber may be backing out here. No, you see Enigma with the lurking arm. They want to get as much value here. They're going to try and pop probably try and go for a wall if I'd have to assume, and back out after the wall XP net is there.
Yeah,
Just poking away.
Yeah, if I'm Team Caliber, I'm not taking down that side wall, and now we see it falling. So Stukov having to break the silence and back off a little bit. Scooby now on retreat, and it's Hanzo. We see him stepping up with that range damage.
I think Anubis is going to try and look for a pick. They know Sonya's mid, but it's just, yeah, he just can't get to them.
Yep.
And the team is behind.
Not enough speed to catch up to Team Caliber on the retreat. So it's reset time. I think you're still even talents. You can look for the fight now, or you're going to have to hold off for 13. But really, the objective is getting Peleda on that Sergeant Hammer to this turn-in point. Can they find an avenue for her to make it and click for the 5 seconds she needs to get those 24 gems in? But it looks like she's going to skirt away to her bot wall and hold on to those gems for now. So 13's picked up for Team Caliber, and let's take a look. It's time out, of course, for Chromie to block against any burst damage dropping down, especially. Oh, and there it is. We have a loop, but perfectly timed out was the Sylvanas Wraith Walk there. Wow. That's
Sonya on the backside, peeling off the Anubis as well. Oh, is Hammer caught out? No, Hammer's going to speed away.
Yeah, Hammer able to successfully turn him in, so a great sneaky play there by Peleda. I missed that on my cam a bit, but able to get those in. It's going to be the first Web Weavers drop, and they are still at the talent disadvantage, but this is certainly going to help them catch up in the game. Currently, bot lane is pushing really far on their side, so they're probably going to have to prioritize one of the other two. And it looks like it's going to be the mid that they're stacking up at right now.
Yeah, it looks like top lane is just going to try and deep push. And we have American Specialists really heavily committing to the mid lane. So I want to see how much value the Sylvanas is going to get here. Because initially, Team Caliber opened up the map pretty greatly and kind of forced American Specialists. Oh, there's a charge on Diablo onto the Nubrak. Doesn't look like anything's going to be netted from it. Oh, there's a big web on Enigma, our Stukov player, and a root follow-up. Jazz comes in for the stun with the leap. Big arrow. Uh-oh. It looks like Team Caliber may be in trouble here. Hanzo's doing Hanzo things. He gets a kill on the Diablo. Diablo's got Soulstone. He will res soon. Malfurion putting out a root. Jazz may get caught here into the root. Yes, he gets rooted by the Malfurion. A noob gets the stun. A noob gets followed up death. Oh man, a lot of action going on here.
Yeah, so
we're gonna step in here.
Plenty of poke damage dropping down from Hanzo. He's able to pick up the Sonya. You saw the Enigma, the Stukov player, getting picked off early with that cocoon, and it was a great play. I think Scooby really got to highlight him in that engage there, because he was the one setting it up for Team Caliber, able to really disrupt the backline a little bit with those charges in. But let's not forget, right now we see Sergeant Hammer able to get that bot fort, able to push another fat minion wave with a couple of those spider minions still pushing with it. So they're going to start getting a little bit of damage onto that bot wall if Sonya does not respond, and she does. So now it signals for American Specialists, get started on these camps. You have some time. Hanzo on the Bruisers. You got Hammer on the bot side on those Siege Giants. So this is going to be a double camp play right now. Very successfully going to be done, and just about enough gems in hand for their second Web Weaver phase of the game. Can they pick up the last few? Can they turn them in? Right now, the pressure is all in favor of the American Specialists with this double Specialist comp. And now, take a look. They are just... Oh, no, sorry.
Big Poison Spear onto the Hammer. Sonya says, no, Hammer, you're not going to turn in. Not right now, not on my watch.
So they do have enough gems. I just did math in my head, which is very slow apparently. They, again though, have to get this Hammer to the turn-in point. And it's Enigma now, playing babysitter on the bot shrine there. But Peleda so close to getting the turn-in. Will he get it? And he does!
Oh, he gets it. And there's a web on the Stukov.
Yeah.
They're trying to break Stukov out of the web. There's a root. Okay, Chrissy misses the stun. I think Stukov's in a lot of trouble here, and he pays for it. Yes. Counterplay. Diablo, APOC, Malfurion may die. On the backside, we see Sonya and Greymane just running out.
This chase is very in favor of American Specialists. They need to keep this pressure up. Peleda's going to be able to get in siege mode and do a little bit of damage. Not enough on Sonya, but don't forget you still have all sorts of damage with the chase potential from Sylvanas. And there it is. That's Sonya
Loop
falling.
kill.
Paleta in a great spot right now to get some free damage out onto this wall, but it's Diablo charging, and Malfurion the only one there to help protect. The roots are going to come down to separate the team, but Scooby, so much health on that Diablo, not going to take nearly enough damage to fall. It's retreat mode right now for American Specialists. They're going to move up to this mid lane, push with their spider, get some value, but let's not forget, there are 3 spiders on this map, and in the top lane, this is the lane you want to keep an eye on. It's pushing onto that keep wall, Lucky.
Yeah, you know, I'm actually, I see that American Specialists wanted to just open up the map, really, I guess, and that's a good call too. They didn't commit to pushing on the keep with the top web weaver, which is okay. They wanted to just open up the map completely because guess what? They have all the range in the world, so less structures for Team Caliber to kind of retreat to means American Specialists can just poke, and it looks like they're setting up for the boss. Oh, they're committing to the boss.
Look
And
how
I think
fast
Team
this
Caliber's
burn
too-
is with Hanzo.
Team Caliber maybe too late on this rotation.
Yeah.
Hanzo went an interesting build. We thought I was with you. I thought he was gonna go auto attack build, but 4-7 he went scattered arrow, which is definitely the Merc Merc build.
Great cocoon. It's on to Greymoon, but instantly popped out by Sonya. And again, Chrissy I-37 missing the burrow stun after the cocoon last
Jazz
time.
leaps out.
Yeah, last time it was on the Stukov. This time it was Greymane who should have been secured as a kill, but nonetheless, this is a Sylvanas comp pushing with the boss
Oh, no,
at
does
15
Chromie get
minutes and
punished?
45 seconds. Oh, and it's a Nubarak getting flipped again by Diablo, and now it has to be a retreat. There's no front line available at all for the American Specialists. They have to move away, give up this boss push. That's going to cost them that opportunity on that top keep. So huge play again, and it's Scooby with the play on Diablo, really stepping up huge for Team Caliber today.
Absolutely, and I think American Specialists may have just went a little too aggressive because they don't really have an all-in engage comp. So I see Anubis trying to get a pick, but ultimately they gave up a free keep because they went too aggro there.
Yeah,
So Team Caliber just said, if you're not going to respect, you're not going to respect us, we're just going to play our comp. We're very team fighty, lots of burst damage, and Diablo. You mentioned it. Scooby's doing a really good job on Diablo. He's punishing people who are making misplays.
Yeah, so not only did they give up the potential to get that keep, they also gave up positioning on the map, as now we see Team Caliber able to step forward, get all their gems in. This is going to be their 3rd Web Weaver phase of the game, and it's that top lane they're going to prioritize once again, matching the pressure, trying to get down this top keep with this push. It's a fat minion wave, it's a fat Diablo, it's a fat squad rolling through while already down. So let's see what kind of pressure they can put on. Remember, you still have Enigma with that lurking arm, that expanding arm he picked up at 1. Can he make it happen here to set up the silence so they can get the free damage onto this keep? It's currently, we see Chrissy I-37, the only one in defense, but now American Specialists making the rotation. They know they have to defend this keep and this push. There's Scooby again.
Oh, Diablo
very
goes in charge
aggressive.
on the Malfurion. Twilight Dream popped for the counter engage. We have Sonya joining the fight. I think they're just going to get this keep and get out of here. If I was Team Caliber, just take your winnings and get out. Oh, there's a temporal loop on the Anubrak. Wind up. Oh, and the blow
Oh
up
my
on Anub.
god!
Oh,
Huge! The
engage
APOC
it.
dropping now. It was almost about to hit Sergeant Hammer, but barely able to scoot away with that unstoppable that he picked up. So this right now, it's a core push. It's Scooby going onto the double stun, onto the hammer,
gosh.
and all the defense
Big
is
engage.
falling, but a counter
Sonya
kill
drops.
picked up on the Sonya. The Dragon Arrow is huge. Seiyu back is in trouble on that Greymane. He's in full retreat mode. Scooby leading the way for his team to escape, and it looks like they will. They're able to get out. We still have 1 spider on the field. It now just falls, but still a huge wave pushing onto this bot keep. They're going to clear it up with ease. Remember, they have this Sylvanas plenty of siege clear, Hanzo plenty of siege clear. So yeah, great spider phase there for Team Caliber. I love what we saw. You got the keep down. You got some very aggressive kills again. I keep mentioning it, but Scooby playing out of his mind on this Diablo, able to apply pressure. They know it's a weak front line with just the Anubrak, so he's trying to really set the pace on the front line of their own to push them back and make sure that the back line from the American Specialists, led by that Sergeant Hammer, can't get any free damage onto their own heroes with the likes of the Chromie and that Greymane, and especially their healer Stukov.
Yeah, right now Scooby is doing. I think Team Caliber's playing their comp, and I think they play that Web Weaver phase especially good because Scooby made the I guess Team Caliber made a decision. We want to buy as much time for these web weavers, and we want to see if we can get picks because that's our comp. We can go in. We have Sonya on Leap, we have Diablo, we have APOC, and there was a lot of hard engaging on top. They got the keep, they got kills, they netted kills, and then they also had web weavers bottom opening up the keep wall. So bottom lane is open. They took the mid fort. Mid keep is still has its wall, and keep still fully intact. But bottom is now open too as well. So Team Caliber is in very good shape. You know what? I'm not going to count out American Specialists because they have great defense. They have great defense, and they're only down one keep.
The one thing which we have not yet mentioned, at level 20, we see Sergeant Hammer picking up the orbital BFG. So now, Team Caliber is on a timer. They need to make the fights happen before their structures start falling. That thing is going to be rolling out every 5 seconds for the rest of the game, and already you see Hammer working on that mid keep. Look at it, already about 80% health. It's going to keep dropping. The boss now is the spot on this map. Let's be quiet because it looks like Team Caliber is setting up, waiting for the American Specialist to show here. Chromie gonna drop some vision. Chrissy I-37 gonna lead the way. There's the leap. It's Sonya, and a huge stun by Diablo into that area crater. Huge play now, and this is it. Time to push forward. The black arrow is gonna come from that Sylvanas, but it's not enough. The cocoon not nearly enough to save this game. Moving on to core is Team Caliber. The APOC, the flip, the unstoppable.
Is just crushing it. And he smacks him. He smacks him. Kill. He just says, take this big Diablo smack to the back. You're going down. You're not getting out of this, even with your unstoppable.
So what a play. It was the leap with the area crater at level 21, setting it up for Team Caliber. GG, well played. Game 1 going over.
Rex in the air, and he doesn't know what to do. He's looking at the core. He's crying. It's down. No.
Game 1 gonna go over to Team Caliber.
Exciting match. Div A is bringing the heat, I tell you. And you touched on it with the Sonya, and I wasn't sure if they're going to go Leap, but man, Leap was the right pick into Crater. Crater set up that easy, quick pick from almost. It wasn't even a bush gank. It was just a no vision gank, terrain gank. But thoughts on the game?
Yeah, you touched on it. It was really the ability to get onto the back line, and you saw it time and time again. Scooby on that Diablo. I have to give him by far my MVP of map number 1, so great job there. And of course, play of the game, we saw it right there at the end. It was that area crater into the Diablo stun, so way to go Team Caliber. Game number 1 going over to you. Our map number 2 is going to be Battlefield of Eternity. Ladies and gents, we're going to take a short 5-minute break. I'm going to pick up some water. We're going to set up the next map, and hopefully we will see you there. 5 minutes. We'll see you soon. All right, welcome back to game number 2. In game number 1, we saw Team Caliber take a late game push with their comp on Tomb of the Spider Queen for game number 1 map win. Here on map number 2, it is Battlefield of Eternity with the first ban and first pick of the game. It's going to be American Specialist. So, Lucky, what are your thoughts? Again, as always, what do you think about this map? Are we going to see the Immortal push? Are we going to see some defense? Are we going to see some split pressure? What are your ideas here?
Murda, BOE, I think this is going to be an interesting match with these two teams. In general, most teams want to draft some good Immortal burn, or you see right here, American Specialist is taking away some Immortal burn, banning out the Hanzo. And it looks like Team Caliber is gonna just say, let's finish these Shimano brothers, take them out of the equation, and they ban out the Genji.
Yeah, so again, we talked about it before. Highly contested picks are Hanzo and Genji. And what does that leave? It leaves the gray main. So I think this is the perfect pick. You not only are you getting one of the most versatile heroes in the game, you're also getting one of the strongest Immortal pushers that you have available in the form of that Worgen gray main. So great pickup. There we see dropping early are more of, and Baja, appreciate the host, bringing over 16 viewers from your match. Hope you had a great time there. For those of you joining us, we saw map number 1 go over to Team Caliber, and this is the start of map number 2. It's Battlefield of Eternity. Here tonight, it's a Division A matchup, so a lot on the line. We just saw Lucio and ETC fall on the side of Team Caliber, so two strong picks. The area heals provided by Lucio, and the always threatening power slide picked up in the form of that ETC. So wonderful picks. What are your thoughts moving into like the rest of this? Do you think they focus on their own healer, get their own tank now, because they're going to start possibly getting choked out in this next ban phase?
So the ETC is a pretty good solid pick on this map, BOE. There's a lot of places to get a lot of value from slide. Okay, and you know what, as you touched upon, American Specialist just takes their support and they take their main tank. They want to work with the Murden. Stukov, great on just denying certain areas. You know, there's a lot of choke points here on BOE. Put down that lurking arm. If you talent into it, it's gonna kind of cover a whole lot of area of denial.
And there we see, you wouldn't normally see it, but in game number 1, if you missed it, American Specialist ran a Sergeant Hammer Sylvanas comp on Tomb of the Spider Queen, and right there, it's the Sergeant Hammer ban dropping, so a little bit of respect being shown. They don't want to face that again. I know the Sonya had a little bit of trouble up against it in the solo lane. It's so unorthodox. I don't have many more thoughts, and it's just they don't want to have to face it again, Lucky.
You see that respect ban coming out, and as you said, I was watching the bottom lane, and Sonya was definitely having problems against Hammer, definitely. So they just did not want to deal with it. And you see, look, they picked the Sonya up again. They said, we don't want our Sonya to have those issues in the solo lane. On this map, a lot more. Solo lane is definitely has a larger, I guess, a bigger outcome, because it's a lot harder to make rotation from the bot to the top lane. So if you win the solo lane, you're pretty much Gucci. You're doing a lot for your team. Li Ming also picked up, and now moving to American Specialists for the last 2 picks.
Yeah, so hopefully that food you have is delicious. I am also hungry. Hear those forks clinking with a mouthful of food as my co-caster here tonight, Lucky. So yeah, we have the 4-5 still left for American Specialists. They have plenty of avenues to move. Do they want more Immortal burn? Do they want to set up something different into their solo lane? These guys, you cannot forget, they're called American Specialists for a reason. We saw the double specialist comp come out in game number 1. Will they drop something similar here in game number 2? Instead, it looks like Vala, more of that Immortal burn, and everyone's favorite announcer, it's Alarak joining the game here for American Specialists.
I will say Alarak is probably my second or third favorite announcer. Murky's got to take the cake, because I like to not understand what the hell is being said to me.
Yeah, and Butcher too, right?
Yeah, Butcher too. You can kind of sort of get what he's saying, but not really. You just nod your head and say, "Sure, Butcher, whatever you say, bud."
Appreciate that follow, Kenwood502. Thanks for hanging here tonight. So yeah, the final pick I think you gotta go with some more range pressure, I guess, because you already have your front line set up strong with the Sonya, strong with the ETC. You have plenty of range on the side of American Specialists. That's basically a triple range because Alarak's not going to want to be too far front. He wants to pull you into him and get off that Discord strike. So I'd imagine a little more range here. Leeming not the best at sustained damage, but one of the best at the burst. And look, it's Sylvanas, so they're going to say, hey, we think we can win some Immortals, and when we do, we're pushing down that lane really hard. I love it. I really love it. The Sylvanas pick could really come into play, especially when she picks up her extra damage to non-hero units, so it's going to be a little bit of Immortal pressure, as well as I'd imagine we're seeing a Wrath Sonya in this game instead of the Leap. But we'll see there. We'll see if they want to go into the Leap or not. But I'd imagine it's going to be the Wrath because they do need a little more burn and a little more frontline support going up against the Muradin and the poke that's going to be coming from that Vala.
Yeah, I agree. I think Sonya the Wrath is here. They don't exactly have that big blow up comp, with the Diablo. Diablo can really get to any of his desired targets with his increased range and overpower and the APOC. But yeah, I think we're going to see the Wrath. I would have liked to see maybe a Malthael on American Specialist to deal with the double tank, but maybe they just didn't want to go Malthael into Lucio. And then Team Caliber finishes off their comp with Sylvanas. Sylvanas may get a lot of value, just a lot of consistent poke. If she can talent into her cooldown reduction on W at 4, we'll see what she picks. Because there's a big front line. You have 3.5 melee characters with Greymane on American Specialist. So I guess Team Caliber just looks like they want to poke and kind of just get down, get a lot of spread damage. And you want to take us into the players again, or are we still doing that?
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to restart. There is a banned mount. I'm gonna have to restart this game for us.
Yep, the invisible horse.
Let the battle begin.
And of course, I'm not set up as a referee, so I can't talk to them. So unless these teams want to do anything about it, we're not going to be able to stop this, unfortunately. I do not have access into chat to talk to them, so that is on me. But we'll see how this plays out. Anyway, on the left-hand side in blue, we have the Team Caliber here. Scooby gonna play ETC. We have Seiyu back on the Leeming, Enigma playing the Lucio, and Jazz on that Sylvanas. In the bot lane, we have the Sony being played by John.
Yeah, on the right-hand side, American Specialist, we have iTunes on the Stukov, Any Problem on Greymane, Paletta on the Vala, and Chrissy I37 on the Muradin, and Alarak Flakavaka just made his way down to deal with the Sonya. Gets a nice Discord strike on the Sonya, and let's see how that lane works out for him.
Yeah, so I think really it depends on how good he is at landing the combo, and Sonya, how good she is at recognizing the combo is not available to make her move in and use her spin to get the health back that she's going to lose. Let's take a look at the talents, though, because we do see the Sonya going into Warpaint over the block, so I think that's a great choice, trying to help get some of the health back on some of the safer minions in lane. Huge power slide, landing onto Chrissy I37 and that Muradin, able to scoot away. Maybe that third wind's going to start ticking in now. But actually, no third wind available. It instead was Perfect Storm picked up, so that's a unique talent there.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe it's sometimes a lot of Muradin player. If you're an experienced Muradin player, it was big in the Korean HGC scene where a lot of the Muradins would just go Perfect Storm because they wanted that extra damage, and over time you keep on completing your stacks. it turns out to be a lot of damage.
So, tapping gloves, but it's now Chrissy I37 with the Dwarf toss in forward, very aggressive, not able to land any sort of Stormbolt in. Any problem, the Greymane player, the one with low health, and now it's Stukov having to get his team back, revive some of that health, and not have them waste their taps. But I don't know if Team Caliber knows this yet, but it's Stukov that was trying to hearth away, not able to do it because of that Sylvanas coming through with her W, able to barely touch iTunes on that Stukov. So now he's barely out of here in time for this Immortal to spawn 25 seconds away in the bot lane. Let's keep an eye because John now finally putting on the pressure onto that Alarak. And it looks like it's going to be 2 camps being picked up. The Bruisers on the side of Team Caliber, and on the top side, it looks like Vala and Muradin want to work on the Khazra. No, they're afraid. They think there might be a bush ready, so they're going to drop back to their own Bruisers instead, led by Any Problem and that Grandmane. So you have the Immortal pushing power, but they are opting to slowly get their own Bruiser camp out, so they're not in position on the bottom side to do any damage to the blue Immortal. So this signals to Scooby, slide in, huge power slide onto Peleda and that Vala, the first kill of the game, going over to Team Caliber, and this is going to be a second one, because now Alarak is falling. A 4-man squad, able to circle him, swarm him like piranhas or sharks in the water, pick up that kill. Chrissy going to have to dwarf toss out, so halftime, easily going to go over to Team Caliber, led by that huge engagement on the bottom side of the map.
Yeah, and you know what, Team Caliber, they made a quick, decisive decision, and sometimes, you know, especially right before the Immortal phase, you have to make a quick, decisive decision. Team Caliber took the Bruiser camp much quicker than American Specialists. American Specialists went top. They weren't sure if they wanted to take the Siege camp, and they moved to the Bruiser. They get late, and you know what? And it just gives Team Caliber a ton of just, you know, ability to put damage on that Immortal. And you see that they won the Immortal race, even, I think, without, you know, I don't think they have better burn. I think Val and Greymane have better burn on American Specialists, but when you time out, you know, if you can make those quick rotations, get to your camps, you know, not right on time, and then your enemy gets there late, you can really have a good lead on burning the Immortal. So Team Caliber pushing with the Sylvanas. Let's see how much value they get through the Sylvanas, and they already got the wall down initially in the laning phase. Sylvanas is disabling his tower. You have half shields on this Immortal, and it's pretty healthy. And I think they're definitely going to take at least keep wall here. They have the town tier 7 advantage. Murder, take us into this push.
Yeah, so absolutely. With the Sylvanas, she's got plenty of ability to keep these towers locked down. That's plenty of shielding on that Immortal. You also have to remember that you have Li Ming, one of the best damagers onto these towers from range, so she's able to do plenty. The only sort of defense you have, again, we mentioned that it's the weak front line on the side of American Specialists, it's just the Muradin, and I think Scooby's doing a decent enough job, again, like we saw in game number 1 on his huge kill.
And there goes down
the follow-up was just amazing. It's just instant burst down, and it's the Li Ming picking up a reset, but not able to find any extra damage. It's level 9 though, and it's a full health Immortal now pushing onto the core at only 5 minutes and 30 seconds into this game. It's huge damage.
Can they do this?
It's only
Can they do this, Murda?
The only way they do this is if Greymane can get into Worgen form and start doing any sort of contention, but he's not. He's still in range form. There he is, diving in now onto John and that Sony. Scooby's the one in trouble too. He's on that ETC, but it's Muradin, the one who falls.
Enigma kiting around. They are looking at the core. They're just kiting around. I think they're gonna take this core down in 5 minutes and 56 seconds, just under 6 minutes. Dominant push with the Sylvanas.
Oh my god.
Enigma's just dancing with about 25 health pool right on that core.
You just can't stop a Sylvanas push. Look at these stats. 0 deaths on the side of Team Caliber. Jazz playing the Sylvanas. It's free, dude. It's free. You just walk forward, and the poke was too much. Sonya was able to keep the front line with ETC effectively. They just couldn't move in to do anything to shut down the Li Ming and Sylvanas push. And Lucio, of course, with the area heals, keeping his whole team healthy. 5 minutes and 56 seconds.
That was quite a game. Sylvanas on level 4, she did get the cooldown reduction on her W's. So between her cooldown reduction on W, the free Qs, and Li Ming just doing a ton of poke. Li Ming, props to you for going greedy build, power hungry. Just knowing that, you know what, I'm just gonna spam abilities over and over. Even goes W build on Li Ming. Pretty non-standard, but big game. Good game, man.
Yeah, enemy team not even able to pick up their level 7 talents. It's 5 minutes, 56 seconds. So let's hop over to the NGS chat. We're going to look for an interview with one of the members from Team Caliber. So hang with us for just a moment here. Do 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 do. Well, we'll see if we can get someone in here. I have not heard back from anyone from Team Caliber quite yet.
I just messaged Enigma on Team Caliber. I told him if he wants to come in here with his captain, he can come and have a chat. So let's see what he says. Okay, yeah. So we're gonna have two people coming in. We're gonna have Enigma from Team Caliber, who was the support, and I guess I'm assuming their captain. So we're
Yeah,
gonna
which
have a
was
two-man
John, who
interview.
played the Sonya in game number 2, and I believe he played it in game number 1 as well. So, hey, how's it going, John?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Yeah, wow. Holy smokes. That core push on Battlefield of Eternity. Wow. Oh my gosh. All right. And also now we see Enigma joining us here in chat. So welcome, and congratulations on the 2-0 domination tonight up against American Specialists. So let's start it off. Let's talk about map number 1. We were over on Tomb of the Spider Queen. It was the map selection by American Specialists. And did they ever come out with something you didn't expect? Because it's the Sergeant Hammer and the Sylvanas, a double specialist comp dropping. What was going through the minds of your team when you saw that in draft?
I think we had to get the first turn in, or else we would have, just snowballed our game from the tank and the Sylv pushing us all game. So
Yeah, primary focus was just try to keep them at bay and not let them siege into us and scale with the Silp.
Yeah,
Really
so
nice job, you guys. Really nice job. I think we also talked about that in game, where we were discussing where if you get ahead, and you guys just control the map, Sylvanas and Hammer wasn't going to get enough value out of their comp. And yeah, I think you guys recognize that, talking about it in game, saying we're not going to just let Sylvanas and Hammer push against you guys, and you guys did a great job being very aggro. Diablo, we had to give our MVP to your Diablo player. Level 20 Sonya coming out with the crater, making big plays too. John, very nice job.
And it was also the Chromie pickup, I think, was very pivotal in your success there, because you had the Dragon's Eye come out at her level 5 talent, able to do that extra damage in the center of her Dragon's Breath. So huge pickup, and able to really keep Hammer on her toes and make sure that she's not in that siege mode. She picked up the graduating range at level 4. So it was really great work putting pressure onto the backline. Again, we mentioned it, that leap on the Sonya was huge. So is that really your strategy going up against that sort of range composition? They had a Hanzo, they had the Hammer, of course. Is it just let's get a big fat dive on them and see what happens?
well, we had Loop for their team, but it wasn't getting much value since they had a lot of unstoppables. So we were just thinking, let's go Crater for level 20 and get a gank on one of them and just snowball off of that for the team fights.
Yeah, just get the full crater silence combo and just dive in, instant blow up whatever target's in there, and then just push from there.
I have to ask, was this Enigma's idea to go balls to the wall? Because I do know him from back in the days, back in the old days of duo Q and things like that. And I actually want to say I think you guys recognized that you had to punish that heavy ranged comp. You can't just sit back and get poked out. So I like the aggression. I like your guys' call and your comp to do that play style.
Yeah, I think with any sort of hammer comms, it's pretty much protect the hammer at all costs, and then try to play in her zone. And that's where aggro comps really excel, is that you pressure the hammer, you pressure whoever is backline, forcing them to panic, and then try to take enough picks if we can.
Well, very well executed on map number 1, but let's talk about the execution that we just saw on map number 2, Battlefield of Eternity, winning in 5 minutes and 56 seconds on the back of a Sylvanas push with a very healthy Immortal. So going into that draft, and you're in your 5th pick, and we see you already have a Lucio ETC started off, then you had the Sonya Leeming. We're looking at the 5th pick, and we're like, they need some sort of extra damage on Immortal. Like, they're not going to win the race up against Greymane and Vala. but you guys say, no, we're picking up Sylvanas, we're going to win the Immortal, and we're going to like crush you. So like, what was going through your minds in draft? Did you have Sylvanas pegged the whole time, or that just was like, let's just go for it?
I think that was a last let's go for it for the last 10 seconds, because like it was either Lunara. We were thinking Lunara for the poke damage, or it was something else, but we didn't really have a fifth pick coming into mind. So we were like, yeah, let's just go for the Sylvanas and try to win the Immortal.
Yeah, the alternative was a Cassie, and Cassie wouldn't do too well with lack of mobility. So we just went with the Sylvanas with a little bit more mobility, and when push comes to shove, we can push pretty hard with her.
Yeah, so we were sitting there, we're like, yeah, they'll at least get a keep wall. Okay, they'll at least get this keep and back off. Okay, there's a couple picks. Is this game over? And it was just done.
Very nice job on the Sylvanas. And some interesting talents, too. I saw the Ming went orb build, so I guess you guys were committed to the full poke. You also had Sylvanas on CDR reduction on W, too. So it looked like you guys were just poking the hell out of them top. And you got the walls down before the objective even got there. You rotated very swiftly to the bruiser. You actually, I know you couldn't see, but we saw it on our end. You had probably a good like 8 seconds on the bruiser camp. So you guys took the bruiser very early. You got to jump on the Immortal. And even though I think the other team had the better raw Immortal burn, just your macro play with timings was very advantageous to your push. And then Sylvanas with, pushing with the talent tier 2. I think they weren't even level 7 when you guys were on the keep. So you guys just said, you guys went very hard. So it was a nice call. It was fun to watch.
There was also that pick, the ETC, and I remember I mentioned it was like the sharks in the water. You picked up the Vala and the Alarak right at the start of that Immortal phase, so it gave you huge potential. Just step in, free damage on it. And
yeah, we noticed the Vala out of position right away, and then we engaged on that with Lucio's speed and full dive, and then the Alarak used his combo, so he didn't have mobility escape either. So 3v5, they don't want to take the fight. We just rush Immortal at that, push with it.
All right, so again, great job tonight taking the 2-0. Before we sign off, though, I want to give you guys an opportunity to give some shout outs. So, John, you want to start off, or Enigma, either one? Just give us some shout outs, man.
Just shout out to my team for doing well tonight. We're just trying to improve. And just wanted to say Sylvanas does work in 2018.
Yeah, and shout out to you guys for casting your games. Really appreciate you guys and taking the time to do this. This is awesome.
Hey, anytime, always available. We're from Div B, but we love watching some Div A. We got some own lessons for ourselves to take back to our team. So we definitely appreciate you guys letting us hop in on this tonight as well. But that's going to be it for this evening. Thank you so much for joining for this interview. I'm going to be signing off tonight. This has been an NGS Week 3 matchup between Team Caliber and American Specialists, with the winners 2-0 fashion going over to Team Caliber. Congratulations. GG's. Have a great night.
Thanks, guys. Good night.
Take care. Have a good night. GG's, guys.